Plain and simple, if you want one of the loudest and least expensive systems currently available for your 2009 to 2010 5.4 liter, you need to check out the Flowmaster Outlaw Extreme. This sub $300 Cat-Back will dump underneath the truck, making for a slightly cleaner look overall, and will get a strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter from me, as there is a little bit of cutting involved. So as you guys just heard with our sound clips, the Outlaw Extreme is going to offer plenty of bang for your buck, easily pegging my Wake the Neighbor scale at a strong 5 out of 5. Listen guys, when overall volume is the #1 priority, the Outlaw from Flowmaster should always be in the discussion. But due to the design and the configuration of this thing, dumping underneath the truck of course, and being as aggressive as it is, don't expect the quietest in-cab experience while cruising on the highway. However, some of our customer reviews have pointed out it's really not as bad as you might think, so don't let that be a deal breaker for you. Well, let's talk about how the Outlaw Extreme gets its aggressive tone, and it's pretty simple, right? You're looking at it. You got about a 3 to 4 foot section of 3-inch mandrel bent tubing with the signature Outlaw series muffler sandwiched right in the middle. Now, I've actually assembled one of these guys at Flowmaster's facilities, and what I can tell you about this thing is you have a 4-inch piece of tubing here with about 5 metal baffles welded into place, still straight through by design, so you're not really killing your flow per se. Instead, you're just shaping the sound a little bit more here, and it's a nice thing too because you don't have to worry about any internal packing or anything blowing out on you. And the combination of the free-flowing design of the Outlaw series muffler here and that 3-inch mandrel bent tubing, it's not only going to provide some head-turning bark as we've already showed you guys with the factory resonator still in place, mind you, but you're also going to pick up a small bump in power according to Flowmaster. In fact, those guys are claiming about 8 horsepower extra with this system installed. Nothing crazy, of course, but certainly is worth mentioning. As far as the construction is concerned, well, again, things are very simple, right? 409 grade stainless steel throughout here, including that 3-inch mandrel bent tubing and your single Outlaw series muffler. Everything is then finished in this black coating. It is backed by Flowmaster's lifetime warranty, and of course it is made here in the USA. As far as that configuration is concerned, again, this thing does dump underneath the truck with that 3-inch turn down, as you can see here. It's gonna exit right around that rear axle, in fact, right in front of the rear axle to be exact. Now, at the very top of this video, I did mention that you're getting a great bang for your buck with the Outlaw Extreme. And I'm not really saying that from a material perspective because obviously there's not a lot going on here. Instead, it's a result thing, right? You're getting a ton of volume, a huge increase over the factory system for just south of 300 bucks, which is pretty solid overall. Now, I did mention earlier that there is the smallest amount of cutting needed here, so just be prepared for that, but I'm still sticking with 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter for the total installed difficulty, anywhere from an hour or 2 from start to finish before you're really cranking up the volume. Tool-wise, well, again, that cutting tool will be a biggie. Now, me personally, I always like using a Sawzall along with the fresh metal blade, some eye protection, of course, along with a socket set. Those are gonna be your 2 biggies here, but Flowmaster always recommends using a little spray lubricant on those bolts, of course, but also those rubber exhaust hangers as well, which can be a little tricky from time to time. Now, your first step, of course, is to reference those detailed instructions, but what they're gonna tell you is you need to cut at this point to help you remove that factory system. Now, specifically, you're gonna be measuring about 4 inches from the factory slip fit connection, mark it carefully, and then make your cut. Once your cut has been made, you can proceed with the removal of the factory system. Now, a little footnote here, guys, Flowmaster actually recommends cutting it near the muffler if you're doing this installation on the ground, just to help you remove the system over that rear axle. Once the factory system is out of the way, get to work hanging the new Flowmaster Outlaw Extreme using the included clamps at the cut you just made, in addition to making some small adjustments to the hangers as needed. Tighten everything up and your installation is complete. If you want the loudest system for south of 300 bucks, well, you're looking at it. The Flowmaster Outlaw Extreme, which you can grab right here at AmericanTrucks.com.